Okay, we're going to have a look at another runner in the Melbourne Cup, which is also at good double figure odds. We've just had a look at Valiant King. We're now going to have a look at the second of the Joseph O'Brien runners in the form of Okita Soushi. Okita Soushi is currently 34.0 and 9.5. That's good overs. I'm going to go into the form and the breeding of this one now and just pinpoint the positives. Okay, so Okita Soushi, very well bred by Galileo out of the top class Australian fastnet rock mare Amicus. Amicus came through the same 3-year-old year as First Seal and Winx in all the good 3-year-old races in Sydney, like the Surround and the likes. When First Seal had the measure of Winx back in 2014. She was since exported to Europe and sent to a couple of Darley stallions. She's been to a Galileo Cross, the Galileo over Fastnet Rock Cross and Fastnet Rock over Galileo mares is now one of the most prolific nicks in the Northern Hemisphere. This nick of Galileo over Amicus has also produced the top class 2-year-old from this season, Chief Little Rock. He's a 1 from 3 winner. Last start, he ran second in a very strong renewal of the Group 2 Beresford 14 days ago at the time of this video, recording this video on the 7th of October. That was on the 23rd of September. This year's renewal of the Beresford was high class. The Study of Man, Colt Deep Pone won it. Study of Man's the son of Deep Impact, starting to get good back end of the season 2-year-olds. Then you had another Aidan O'Brien horse back in third, Grosvenor Square. Jubawi Colt, Naval Seal in fourth, Navy Seal. And Stromberg from the Joseph O'Brien yard by Ifraj back in sixth. So all good types, plenty strong form coming out of that, to suggest that the Group 2 Beresford is a strong renewal this year, and there's going to be a couple of future Group 1 winners come out of that race, one of them potentially being the full relation to Okita Soushi in the form of Chief Little Rock. So that's the first thing that I want to touch on. Now, if we look deeper back into the pedigree of Okita Soushi, as I said, by Galileo out of the Fastnet Rock Gold Chant, and that makes Amicus a 3-quarter relation to Star Spangled Banner. Now, if we go and pull up the pedigree of Okita Soushi by Galileo out of Amicus, Gold Anthem back here is the dam of Star Spangled Banner. And Star Spangled Banner is by Schwarzer, who is down the Danehill Dancer line. And with Fastnet Rock being down the Danehill line, that makes Amicus a 3-quarter to Star Spangled Banner. So that's another big tick in the pedigree of Okita Soushi. Amicus was top class herself in her 3-year-old year and trained on. She was Group 2 level at Randwick. She wasn't far off First Seal, Adrift, Fenway. Tried consistently through the top level. But it's become a slightly better broodmare than what she was a race mare in a very strong season for 3-year-old fillies in that year. Now, if we go and take a look at the run of interest for Okita Soushi, it took her a little bit of time to hit the best of her ability. She was good as a 2-year-old, only had 2 starts. Come back in her, what is she now, 5-year-old? So this is a 4-year-old. She only had 2 starts in a 3-year-old season. Come back in a 4-year-old season. Had 6 starts thereabouts. Really started to come on as a 5-year-old when she started to put it all together. This Heritage Handicap win at Ascot over 12 furlong 2 starts ago is when she really put the writing on the wall. Now, if we go back through this win, we're going to get a good line to a couple of the major scene chances in the Melbourne Cup this year. Okay, so Okita Soushi knocked off HMS President, Live Your Dream, Giro, Moricana, towards the rear, headway, raced extremely wide around turn over 2 furlong out, edged right, led narrowly inside final furlong, kept on well towards finish. The second horse home, good winner of a 52k Class 2 handicap the start prior. Ran second to Max Mayhem the start prior to that for a 26k Class 2. Good heritage handicap form, which always stands up when they come to Australia. The third horse home, beaten 2 lengths by Okita Soushi when it carried, in the form of Live Your Dream, when it carried the same weight as Okita Soushi. Both carried 9 stone 9. Then came out 2 starts later and was only beaten a length by Absurd, where it carried £5 more than Absurd. So that puts Okita Soushi £7 in front of Absurd at the weights through that line. Now, if we go and have a look at Absurd, who is $14 in the Melbourne Cup and considered a major hope and the second of the Willie Mullins runners behind Vauban, gets 53, while Okita Soushi gets in with 51.5. So that's £4 better. So Okita Soushi meets Absurd £11 better off at the weights than that form line back through, which is 5 kilos or 3 lengths on that form line through Live Your Dream. Okay, the fourth horse home, form franked. Fourth horse home, beaten 2 by Okita Soushi. Not the best of form. Prepared to put a little bit of a line through that. Best run of this preparation. Good handicap form the season prior. Consistent high-class placings in good handicaps. Fifth horse home. Only beaten 3 lengths by Mashore at listed level the start prior at the Curragh. 1 at listed level the start prior to that. 6 horse home. Came out and only beaten 3/4 in a good 23k handicap at Ascot the next start. Knocked off HMS President a few starts prior to that, franking the Okita Soushi line where Okita Soushi beat HMS President here. The 7th horse home, and then the 8th horse home. Won a 10k Class 3 the start prior. Lightly raced, then come out and won a 16k Class 2 at Beverley. Okay, so there's lots to suggest, especially with that line back to Absurd, that Okita Soushi is well placed here as a serious Melbourne Cup contender. If we go further back on the dam's pedigree, as I said, out of Amicus, this cross, Galileo over Amicus, has got the top class 2-year-old Chief Little Bear this season. It looks like it's going to train on to be a Group 1 winning 3-year-old. Family of Star Spangled Banner. You go further back into the dam side of the pedigree. Good types further back. Then we know the nick works well. Stoutness spread in through the top half, being by Galileo. In well weighted. Joseph O'Brien knows how to train a Melbourne Cup winner. He knows the type to bring out here. This one's a 5-year-old. In well at the weights and looks like a serious Melbourne Cup contender. 32nd in the order of entry currently, from memory. Yeah, 32nd just behind Valiant King, who I've done a video on as well. They're the 2 Joseph O'Brien runners, so we need a few to drop out. 24 make the race. Pretty confident that both of them will get in. Got a preference for Valiant King over Okita Soushi, but Okita Soushi at the 34 and 9.5 is worthwhile backing on an each-way basis as well. I've already done a video on Valiant King. You'll see that on our YouTube channel as well, which is 51 and 14, and it's got good lines back to Vauban. So when you put all that together, Okita Soushi back to Absurd, Vauban, Valiant King back to Vauban, both in superbly well weighted. Joseph O'Brien knows the types to bring out here for a Melbourne Cup. They both look pretty well placed as Melbourne Cup contenders in 2023. That is a preview for Okita Soushi in the Melbourne Cup on the 7th of November. Thanks.